What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lore Reloaded. Always a fantastic pleasure to see each and every one of you guys here today. Going to be starting this off by reminding you can check out Lore Reloaded at youtube.com/Lore Reloaded, twitch.com/Lore Reloaded, or twitch.tv/Lore Reloaded. Been working on a couple of projects. One of them specifically is discussing the differences between disco era writing and the portrayal of how they decide to write current events and politics versus that of Legacy Trek. And really, when you break it down, it's quite interesting. But before I get completely into that, I want to say what's up, R. McDuds, into his house. You know, I don't know how long I'm going to be on talking about this, but I just think it's interesting that we have people that will sit back and discuss and say that what we see in Discovery, what we see in Picard, what we see in all of these other different types of series is the exact same as what we saw in Legacy Trek. You know, Star Trek has always been left-leaning. I mean, did you ever watch Star Trek? However, when you actually start to break it down, when you actually start to look at the differences, it's pretty distinct. You can take almost any example that we find in Discovery or Picard and put that against any example that we would see in DS9, The Next Generation, the original series, Voyager, and you can tell the differences in the two. Propaganda, honestly, it comes down to this. I think when you're writing something, like, propaganda is when you write from a specific point of view and you want someone to think the way you do. And writing a story, being an artist, is putting them in that situation, showing both sides pretty fairly, and letting them make the decision. By the way, 17 people watching, only 5 likes? What the hell's up with that? What's going on, Tom? Hope you're doing well today, buddy. So I've been trying to bring up examples between Discovery and Picard as well as Legacy Trek. And it's just quite startling to me. Like, for instance, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield is an example I bring up, because it's something that is, like, lauded by the left, but I wonder if they've even actually seen the episode. Because, again, in my opinion, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield would specifically be something that is art, is written as a way of showing two sides, showing two sides, and yet still thinking one side is better than the other, and yet still leaning one way. In Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, you have two people who think the other side is evil. You have basically a terrorist and a government oppressor who are going against each other. And then you have the crew and yourself trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong, what has to be done, where things need to go, what is the right side, only to find that they destroyed each other. And then you have the first 2 episodes of Discovery where they never have an explanation or a discussion between the Klingons or about the Klingons that goes over their isolationist tendencies, their purist tendencies, and why they are right or wrong about, remain Klingon. And then you go out of your way to make the Discovery crew, the Zinju crew, be these great, diverse people with different ideas that only want peace. And then you have them stick bombs in a body. Question of Trek. I saw your Twitter, your message to me. I need to check and see. I cannot guarantee so I'll apologize in advance because I'm not sure. If I can, I'll definitely do it. I don't mind, but I'll have to verify. I have seen your DM though to let you know. I hit that like. Oh, that's horrible, Armigdud. I would cover myself in gelato for that guy, says Question of Trek. Morning, what's up, Valkyrie? Hope you're doing well. You know, here's another example. Like, looking at the mirror universe is so disheartening, especially when you kind of can agree with what they're trying to say. They just do it in such a bad way. What's up, Sebstar 5000? For instance, when you have Lorca. Now let's look at Lorca first. Lorca is spoilers for anyone who cares. Lorca is a mirror universe character who went to the Prime universe and pretended to be the captain of the Discovery, and he pretended to be the Prime captain. He worked with aliens. He saved people's lives. He defended aliens, and he, for all intents and purposes, he didn't always go by the book, but he was a hero. In many respects. Then we go to the mirror universe and we meet Empress Georgiou, right? Georgiou, however you say her name. We meet Empress Georgiou. And the Empress eats aliens. Like, she offers for guests to come over. She eats aliens. First has them chosen, then cooked. We then see that she killed innocent people who were trying to escape a planet that she blew up. And this is someone that Michael wants to save. That becomes becomes a mother figure, like you say. So we have Lorca. Lorca, all of a sudden, he's the ultimate evil. He thinks that she's allowing too many aliens into the universe, which that seems misguided, but okay. He says, make the Empire glorious again. Now, this obviously is a part of Make America Great Again, right? So you're saying that Lorca is Trump, is what you're trying to tell. Trump's trying to defeat an evil dictator that likes to eat aliens. So, like, are you saying that Clinton and Biden are, like, as bad, if not worse than... as bad, if not worse than Lorca? I mean, Lorca's evil, but he's also trying to stop evil, and we know he has a capacity to at least pretend like he can help people. Thank you, Samantha, one of the most beautiful people on planet Earth. I know exactly who that is. Thank you so much. So, the problem with propaganda is that if you write it wrong, you make your side look horrible. Now, let's compare that to The Wounded. On TNG's The Wounded. So you have this rogue captain who is attacking convoys that can't defend themselves. You have the Cardassians, and the captain is also attacking Cardassian warships. You have the Cardassians that are acting like they're the victims of all this. They don't want it to be going on. When really in the background, they're preparing for war. They want to kill a lot of people. In the background, they're preparing for war. In the Infrastructure Development Immediate Concern, that's true. IDIC, that's what IDIC stands for. Yep, Trek Culture called it before you even said it. I agree. And then you have the lower decks, which, by the way, not the lower decks you're thinking of, but you have O'Brien, lower decks, who's racist but doesn't want to be, and a Cardassian trying to reach out to him. Now, in The Wounded, make no mistake, the Cardassians are the bad guys. Full stop. They're wanting to start a war, and they're using the Federation's kindness to get away with it. Now, the rogue captain is also the bad guy. There's two antagonists in this episode. But they're distinct from each other. It just... I hate you for what you turned me into. Yeah, that was a wonderful line. I mean, honestly, I should really be saying that about Fandom Menace commenters. It's true. It is fun to attack convoys when they can't defend themselves. I agree. But that's the problem. That's the issue with all of this, is that it is distinctly different. In my opinion, Discovery Season 1 and the Mirror Universe is just left propaganda. That's what it is. When you look at Legacy Trek, it's actual art, it's actual discussion, it's an exploration of the human condition with writers that generally would agree with the left-leaning side of politics. And I think Legacy Trek actually does a lot better than Discovery Season 1 and Mirror Universe. Now, I'm saying it that way because it feels like they've actually have gotten that a little bit together. They're moving away from that. I don't think that Picard in any way is as bad as Discovery Season 1, like at all. They have some questionable stuff, but yeah. You know, Trek culture, you're jealous of Question of Trek. You should buy them out. I'm sure they have a price tag. I mean, I would. Lore Reloaded can be bought if you decide to do a lore that you want to reload. Yeah, Luggage Stardate 1234.5. I know. I'm criticizing Star Trek. I'm criticizing Discovery. Man, this is totally unheard of. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on it, though. I really am. Tom Stevie may have said something that I missed, because that looked like that response makes me want to see what Tom Steve said. TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise is intelligent, thought-provoking storylines. New Trek is action, pew-pew, explosions. We lost their attention. Hurry, show something shiny. I don't think it's just that. I think it's preaching to the choir, too. Yeah, lore being so toxic. It's true. I think it's preaching to the choir, and you lose a lot of people when you do that. I talk about needing to be niche, and I think that's important. You do need to be niche. I agree with that. But there's a difference between being niche and being divisive to be divisive. One is toxic, and one is good business. And I think ultimately they're doing good business. I think they moved away from Season 1 and have become a bit more calm in the way they do things, without sacrificing what they wanted to portray, without sacrificing being diverse, being focused on LGBT, which you can do. I don't know that that's wrong. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but if you own the IP and that's what you want the IP to be, I don't think there's necessarily a bad reason for that, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Good propaganda is when you don't realize you're watching some. I mean, some of the old World War II movies, they're not that bad for storytelling those days, but when you look at the details, ouch. You know, propaganda technically just means to inform. It got a really bad rap when you look during Vietnam and the Korean Wars. Propaganda in and of itself doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but I'm not sure that you can write propaganda and it be on the level of I don't want to say true art. I don't like gatekeeping. I don't think you can be as deep as you can be in other forms of art. What about the Kelvin timeline? Personally, I know people are going to hate this, but I find it better Trek than Discovery and Picard combined. Just my opinion, and you don't have to agree with it. The reason why I would say you could make an argument that the Kelvin timeline is a lot better than Discovery and Picard is that the Kelvin timeline doesn't lie. Kelvin timeline says, "Hey, this isn't Prime universe. This is just something different. This is a new take on it." And I think because of that, it does a lot better. I really do. Fascist propaganda is scary. I watch it sometimes for studying purposes, and it always almost gets you. I mean, you watch enough propaganda of anything, and it'll almost always get you. Give me a second, guys. Since I'm reading, I gotta put on my reading glasses because I'm getting freaking old. God, don't get old. Just don't do that. Don't ever get old. I like that the Kelvin timeline is honest and like new timeline. It's why I actually kind of like. I don't understand the need to make Discovery Prime timeline. I don't. They say it's Prime timeline, and they've done some. They did some work, and at bringing it to that way. But I don't understand the absolute positive need to do that. I didn't get a lot of politics in the Kelvin timeline, but then it's only 3 movies. I don't know that they did a lot of politics at all. What's up, Lucutus? I think it's a interesting study of. I think it's an interesting study of what happens when Starfleet becomes militarized but doesn't turn into the Terran Empire. Because when you see the inciting incident, which was the destruction of the Kelvin, the Starfleet starts to weaponize. Not only does Starfleet start to weaponize, they actually get a leg up on all of the surrounding governments. Because remember, when the vessel came through, I forgot what the vessel's name was, but when the Romulan vessel come through, even though it was a cargo ship or whatever the hell it was supposed to be, it used weapons they had never seen before. And so they were able to take those scans and weaponize them. Yeah, I've been wearing glasses for a while, Gabriel, in several different ones. Or maybe, Gabriel, you've actually passed into another timeline. Gabriel, it's quite possible that you were in one timeline where I didn't need glasses. You turned back around, I have them. It's kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. Maybe you're no longer where you thought you were. It was a mining ship that was converted and reverse engineered. Yeah, I know they retconned it in a comic book, which is fine, fair enough, I guess, especially if they call it canon. But they get all of these scans, and so you militarize Starfleet, and so Starfleet now has Section 31. Remember, Section 31 always stayed in the shadows, or at least by DS9 they were in the shadows. But in the Kelvin timeline, they have entire installations that are right under the noses of Federation citizens. Discovery will restart the Federation 930 years in the future and quite possibly fight what it has brought the Federation to its knees at the height of its glory. Yeah, I know they're really. It really needs to start with, honest to God, Discovery needs to start with. Hold on, what's that saying? I want to get it right. Hold on. Wait for it. It's an Andromeda saying. The long night has come, or the long night has stopped, is what they need to say. Honestly, Star Trek Discovery needs to start with the long night has come. German Trekkie, right after this, I got a great new idea that you and me are going to do, and we're going to be really rich, German Trekkie. German Trekkie and I have a collaboration coming up. It'll be for several months. Really excited about it. Got a new idea. You're going to hate it because it's a lot of work for you, German Trekkie, but you're going to get paid, so don't worry about it. So it's going to be fun. We're going to love it. What I wonder is, it's a 23rd century science ship, not a dreadnought. Behave like it, please. Yeah, honestly, unless It really is kind of like Andromeda or Warhammer 40K, and technology has just been drastically reversed. Like they've lost all ability and know what any kind of technology is. The Discovery should get absolutely demolished unless they get upgrades. So they really need to address that. What do I think? What do I think the burn is, lore? I like the idea of Omega molecules, but I don't think it'll be anything that interesting. I don't know. I think they might try to tie it into Picard. Maybe the aliens, the cybernetic, whatever the hell they are, actually made it through at some point and destroyed most everything. If I had to guess, I'd say they tie it into Picard, but I don't know. Shrapnel torpedoes are great for mining. They are great for mining. That's true. No, everyone knows that. That's God. You think it'll be more like Voyager? I don't think so. I think they're going full Andromeda. I really, really do. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It would be interesting if they did kind of like a Xindi War Voyager-esque story. I just don't think they're going to do. Should people be worried about them rebooting Dax in Discovery Season 3? Are they going to have Dax in Discovery Season 3? I don't think that's been confirmed. Season 3... Well, let's do this. Star Trek Discovery, Season 3, Dax. I don't see. Does anyone else think Dax is going to be a main character? The Trill were introduced in Star Trek Next Generation. In DS9, Tribble and Tribulations, Dax said that when she time traveled from the 24th and 23rd century, difference between you and me is I remember the time. Yeah, so there's no definitive that I can see when it comes to Dax. If I don't care if it's Dax or not, I really don't. Dax, again, the two work in tandem, so especially if they make the Trill like a non-binary or whatnot, Dax, I don't think that's a big deal. Because again, it could be the main character. Gabriel saying your live chats are always the best explanations about topics related to Trek. Love them, bro. I love them too. We definitely need Morn. That needs to be the fighter. That needs to be Fighter Morn. Oh no, I mean, I just think that Dax will appear like one seemed, hype up Burnham, then leave. No, if they're going to bring Dax, I think they're going to make the symbiote Dax. I really do. If they're going to do that. I kind of hope they don't. But if they're going to do it, they're going to go all the way, for sure. What is WAP? What does that stand for? I keep seeing that. What is WAP? I don't... R. McDud, hashtag let Morn speak. R. McDud apparently doesn't watch Trek, by the way. We just confirmed that R. McDud isn't a real Trekkie, because R. McDud would know that all Morn did was talk. That's all Morn was known for. The guy would never shut up, in fact. He was quite the talker, which apparently is what women want in the 24th century. So honestly, R. McDud, if you'll watch DS9, that'd be appreciated instead of pretending like you do, because everyone knows Morn is a chatter. WAP is a bad rap video about female genitalia. That's clever right there. That's clever. Ah, gotcha. Wireless access protocol. Okay. So when anyone says that, wireless access protocol, I am a huge fan of WAP then. I really think that everyone needs to have a good WAP, you know? Something that you can really like plug in and get into and get up all in, get your face up in, because you need to make sure that your wireless access protocol is working. So just, you know, slather WAP all over yourself, because it's just what's required. Man, y'all are weird. Y'all are freaking weird. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so moving back to what I was talking about, though. I heard Ensign Saunders was looking for that guy. Worship and praise. Is that what it stands for? Worship and praise. Morn is not only a chatty dude, he's also an ex-criminal, a skilled warrior, and a ladies' man. He's basically Kirk. He is Kirk on steroids. It's true. I never understood why the Borg and Picard still use the Locutus rank. He's got DC'd already. He is. Because everybody remembers Locutus. It's member berries. That's exactly why they do it. Because of member berries. I don't know, guys. I'll be interested in your opinion, though. So I said I wasn't going to do this one for long. I really just kind of wanted to have a conversation. What do you guys think when it comes to the Discovery writing, in my opinion? Because, again, Legacy Trek has done it in the past, but generally it's about putting you into the situation, showing that both sides have good and bad people, even if there is one drastically bad side versus the other, and letting you figure it out. I would be curious. And I guess a part of that too, especially in this day and age, but I guess maybe it was every day and age, really. But a part of it too is that when you're writing and you do something like what we've seen in Legacy Trek, where you present a side that isn't the devil, you have to admit that the other side is human. And I don't know that writers or executives or people really are willing to do that. Like, even if you hate everything Trump stands for, the people who support Trump are largely human. The racists, I mean, and not all, hashtag not all, obviously, and it's on both sides. But if you're just looking at like a racist or a white nationalist or a black nationalist or just any person, they are actual people, even if they have horrific ideas. And that's what good writing forces you to do. It forces you to accept that the person you're looking at is an actual person. And I think that's what they're scared of doing. Honestly, I think the need to other people is something that is starting to impact the literature. Or, I mean, maybe it always has. Oh. James Vaughn says, I think it's more innocent with the increased polarization of politics. The writers might have never come across non-strawman arguments from the right. Man, I could believe that. Jono's dad was a proto-fascist, still had to feel for the guy and respect Jono's decision. Who's Jono? What that's from. I feel like I should know that. I feel you have a good point. Good writing expressing both sides or explains the points of view rather than just expect you understand them. Good writing expounds on the topics. Good writing, in my opinion, that's not propaganda, takes the situation and puts you in it. It takes the situation and lets it happen no matter what it is. I think Past Tense, where we had the Bell riots, is... I'm not streaming for long. Where we had the Bell riots is a wonderful example of that. So you have this system that punishes the poor, punishes the mentally ill, and punishes people who just are down on their luck and doesn't have a job. They basically take the people and throw them into a segment of the city that's walled off and just wish them luck. And the system tells the populace, it tells everyone else who doesn't have to worry about it, we're taking care of them, we're giving them food, they're okay. Hell, this may not even be going on. Don't research it. It's fine. The government workers initially want to help, but understand that the system is broken. They can't individually change it, and they've just given up. And the people inside, most of them are down on their luck. Some of them are mentally ill, and a lot of them just want to survive. But there is a segment that wants to hurt people. There is a segment that wants to kill people. There is a segment that wants to have their own little fiefdom. Thanks, Joseph Petrick, for helping out the channel. Is money good virtue signaling? Hi, Lore. It is good virtue signaling. It also helps me feed my kids, so I appreciate that. And then when the riots happen, when the Bell riots happen, a lot of the people there started out as a protest, started out as a, hey, please see us. But then there were people there that just wanted to use it to cause devastation. There were people in the Bell riots that just wanted to kill other people and wanted to burn stuff down. So that's why I respect Legacy Trek. That's one of the reasons when I look at Legacy Trek, I will forever and always respect it more unless they get it together on the opposite side. Because you don't see that in Disco era Trek. You see one side. And I don't think things are very, very rarely one-sided. Very rarely. Now there are a few examples where one side is better than the other, for sure. But it's ever rarely like that. Looks like Lore stopped with the amazing seizure light show. I can turn the light show back on if you want me to. The line feels very Trek. The Federation is more than ships and tech. I'd agree with that. I like how Star Wars fans respect the expanded universe. A lot of shows' success is based on the sum of good characters. I would say good characters and good writing. I think those go together. You can take a really good character and put them in a bad situation. Man, Question of Trek, just so you know, I'm going to try to be with you guys. I'm going to try to make it. Okay, but no matter how much you super chat, there's no guarantee. I gotta check what's going on. I appreciate the support though. Can someone tell me why people are meant to be interested in that Section 31 show when the main character would be an evil empress that literally eats people? In theory, I'm guessing that the empress is going to have changed a little bit, that she's still going to be evil, but there's some goodness in her, I guess now, and that's where they're going with it. Agreed, things feel very forced as well in Disco. I agree. You know, the thing I hate, I'm attacking Disco legitimately for good reasons. But the thing I hate is there are some points of greatness in that show. And it just frustrates me because it shows that they know how to do it. They know how to write nuance. They just don't. When you look at, and I know some people disagree, but when you look at Stamets and Hugh, I think that is generally good nuance and good writing. You have build up, you have, issues and conflict, and you have character motivation. One of the fun storylines that I thought was right with Stamets again is when he goes to Spore Heaven or wherever the hell he is, and they discuss on whether God exists or not, and I think that's interesting and was handled well from a Trek universe. I really do. I don't know. Stamets is, in my opinion, the best developed character in Disco. I think Stamets and Hugh is probably the best romance to date. I really do. The question that becomes, if they can write well, why don't they? Where is the problem, really? The showrunner or the audience they think they want? I wonder if it's not some... Well, first off, I think they're very heavily left-leaning. I do. But I do think a lot of it may also be that it's coming from the showrunner and executive, Kurtzman and other executives, saying, hey, we think that what society wants, the niche we want, the maximum amount of money is left-leaning LGBT+. That's where we think we're going to make our money. please write a show that reflects that. I think they went too far in season 1. I think they kind of revisited that in the Mirror Universe, but then it seems like it's getting better. That's my honest to God opinion of it. That's what I think happened. I agree. The fact they get it right sometimes gets me more angry at all the times Disco fumbles the ball when they clearly do better. Probably a mix of the fact that their writers' rooms didn't have a stable showrunner either season, as well as not having a time due to TV production turnaround, as well as not having a time. I don't know what that means, Jesse. By the way, you guys should check out Jessie Ginger. Her and I run our own podcast, Behind the Reactor. Always pleasant to see. What do I think about what, Locutus? Did you say something that I missed? I guess you did. Let's go up here and see if I can find it. Good, sir. I don't know what I think yes. I think yes. Sub Rosa in TNG was widely panned by male Star Trek fans. However, the female fans loved it. It was the episode where Beverly was having sex with a ghost. Okay. I didn't like Sub Rosa. I'm not a huge fan of stuff like that. But I'm also male, so I guess that fits in, right? Meant that they didn't have a ton of time to write fully fleshed out arcs. I don't know that that's a good excuse. I honestly don't. I'd have to see what you saw. I'd have to see the timelines. I know that it's difficult, especially if there's a crunch, but I'd have to see. I don't know. One of my major issues with most shows is that they have season-long stories that they start filming before the end of the season. Yeah, that's Trek, though. That's Trek to an absolute T. Throw the link to your channel and the plat into the thing. Oh, she's not going to be able to. Hold on. I would say, and I don't know how she feels about this, but Jessie Ginger is probably the opposite of me. A nicer version that is the opposite of me in a lot of opinions. But, like me, is open to the discussion. Remember, what's left-leaning will be right-wing tomorrow. The Founding Fathers were left-leaning for their day, but would be considered hardcore conservatives today. I would... I think in some aspects that's right. I think that generally progressive ideals ultimately win in the end, at least in the history of the United States and a lot of Europe. Generally win out and become conservative ideals after. Yeah, I can somewhat see like that. Like, for instance, and this is something like when you research it, because I know people hate doing this, but when you actually go and you research some of the ideals that were in the original series, you can clearly see that there were ideals that conservatives would have issues with for that time. Now it's common stance for us today, but for the time, conservatives would have had an issue with that. In TNG, you even see some of that, though they were a lot more conservative than the original series. DS9 and Voyager were similar ways. It'll be interesting to see where we stand with all of this in about 10 to 20 years with Discovery, because politics will have inevitably changed then. I don't know that it's going to be the same way. Maybe. I don't know. What's up, Sydney? Star Trek The Next Generation screwed up with ringing now? And then look at Wesley. He was built up to be the smartest guy in Starfleet. Then they wrote him so bad nearly everyone hates him now. Well, I hate Wesley because he was written bad, and I think the actor is a bad person. I do. I disagree. Some of the Founding Fathers are still extreme a bit compared to modern left. What exactly left-leaning ideals do you think the Founding Fathers had, out of curiosity? They added in the Nepenthe episode. Locutus, helping out the channel. Locutus. Locutus, you want to tongue the razor? That's weird. I don't need a razor. I'm sexy. Don't even lie. Look, I'll give you some ASMR. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Look, cuties. You like that, baby, don't you? Man beard. That's interesting, Jesse. I still think they could have written a little bit better than that. But that's interesting. I didn't know that. Keep it PG. It was PG, please. Sir, you don't even know what PG is. If you think, man, parental guidance. It means you're guided by your parents, okay? Wesley should be in Lower Decks. Will Wheaton wants it, and so do it. Fuck, man, that would hurt. Don't ruin Lower Decks. Come on. Don't ruin Lower Decks. Can we set up a funding goal to shave your beard and beard on Patreon? That'd be a lot of money to do that. Actually, I think someone did $50 at one point. I'm not doing that again, so don't give me $50 right now. Someone did $50 and I shaved it live. I think I'm gonna have to ask for more next time. Picard fell partially apart in broken pieces and shattered in the last episode and is beyond repair now. Okay, if you want to expand on that, that'd be interesting, Yosef. Yeah, I could picture a Will Wheaton cameo too, unfortunately. I hope to God they don't, but, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Will Wheaton, who thinks he's better than everyone else, who thinks anyone who disagrees with him is a Nazi, who got so upset that he said if someone says, "Shut up, Wesley," he'll block them, all of a sudden is okay with the character Wesley and wants to be a part of it again. Now that it seems like there's money to be had there. It's just kind of interesting. You don't know how these things work out. I just think the best serialized shows are those that have all the scripts written before the season starts, which is why I'm more pumped for Picard Season 2. Now they have to delay filming due to COVID. It's possible. Best of Both Worlds wasn't finished, and it was excellent. If you remember Best of Both Worlds, they had no idea how they were going to end that one. Will Wheaton is a Wesley. That is true. But I would say stuff like first couple of seasons of Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined, and Babylon 5 show that if you open it up is really good, I think. How can they do a Star Trek series and never seen any of the movies or other series and expect it to be Star Trek? Patrick Radcliffe, some of the shows that you love the most, Wrath of Khan, Best of Both Worlds, a lot of TNG and DS9 episodes were written by people who had never watched Star Trek. While it's preferable to have someone that watches Star Trek, you don't have to for them to write really good Star Trek stories. Yeah, Babylon 5 was planned out way in advance. Battlestar Galactica Reimagined, the first season or two, I believe, they already had in the hopper. They were still, I'd have to go look it up, but I'd almost bet money that they had that planned out to a degree. And then they had the planet and it went to hell and back where they landed. When Geordi was infected, did everyone else just leave the quarantine? Dr. Crusher did. They just walked out. Yeah, I mean, and they weren't even wearing masks. I was disappointed. Picard show is, I don't know, Jesse. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe I thought they did in the first couple seasons, but maybe you're right. I could be wrong. Picard is a show with missed opportunities, and the whole plot was wonky at best, making Picard an artificial life form. Well, spoilers, an artificial life form destroyed the characters and orchids in space. Yeah, there's a lot. Best of Both Worlds was written with a paint roller, and it was excellent. They didn't know if Patrick Stewart was staying, so they didn't have a second. They didn't have the next part written. What's horrible is that did so well that it became a staple for Trek, which really was not to its benefit. There were several Voyager multi-parts and Enterprise multi-parts episodes, and even DS9 multi-part episodes where they hadn't written the next piece to it, and it just fell through. It caused the stats to bomb. They had lightning in a bottle with Best of Both Worlds. They took the wrong lesson from that, for sure. Is it true that under the CBS new management, the Abrams films are going to be taken out of continuity? Nova, stop watching channels that read from 4chan and call it news. Okay, just stop it. Stop it, Nova. Stop it. Gotta go. It's always nice to chat with you. Talk to you later. Talk to you later, Mirror Universe me as well. That's right. One of us is from the Mirror Universe, and we're the exact opposite of each other. That is true. Picard, his concept is mostly Mass Effect rip. See, I think it's Battlestar. First off, everything's derivative. So even if it comes from Mass Effect, Mass Effect didn't originally have its idea. Everything's derivative. But beyond that, I think it's more Battlestar Galactica to a degree. I think it's Battlestar Galactica meets Mass Effect. "4chan is legit." That's right, Valkyrie. That is a good point. It's never been in continuity. So that is a good point. Does Mirror Universe lore reload? Nope. See, even though things are like, you have the Prime Universe and the Mirror Universe, but there are still things that bind the two, or it would be completely different. Right? So there are still similarities. Like, for instance, me and Jesse are from alternate universes, but we're not stupid enough to believe 4chan. But there are a lot of other differences. So, Locutus, that's how I type all the time. Don't even give me that, sir. That's the best typing. I just find the ending hilarious. Like, why did Data die? Right after establishing they can create golems. Data never technically died. They can bring him right back. Mirror lore likes 4chan, but it's good journalism. It's true. How do you tip via phone on the YouTube app? Alex, you can't tip, but you can super chat. There's bottom right. You should see like a little money icon, and you can do it that way. If you want to. Only if you can. If you can't, or it's having issues, don't worry about it. Just like the video and comment. Yeah, Data was never technically killed. That's one of the parts that's stupid. I see where they were going with it, but you know, if you're on a flash drive, there's not a lot you can do. They should delete the Hobus Super MacGuffin. Maybe. I guess if that's what you mean by retcon. I don't think they really retcon that though, because it's in Picard. Unless they're getting rid of Picard, which I don't think they're going to do. I'm telling you, Locutus, I don't care, man. That's the best way to write. Okay, I'm not even joking, because if you're on Twitter, that's how I write when I'm sarcastic. Alex Boki giving me a sticker. Thank you so much. Nova, by the way, Nova, I hope you're still here. I was just giving you my opinion on that. I wasn't being mean. So, Nova, I hope you're still with me, buddy. I'll pony up on Wednesday. I'm not liquid right now. Yeah, don't give money. Yeah, guys, don't give money you don't have. Just enjoy the stuff. So here's my thing. So this is how I make a living. It is how I feed my kids. But you only give if only give if you can or you want to. If not, just hit like and enjoy it. Mike Hinden, something I would be amused by. Why is the Mirror Universe always wearing 50% as much clothing? Because I guess they were trying to show that, well, what they really want to do is they just want to make their characters loose and seem obtainable. They want to make them look, we'll say sexy, is the word we'll use, since I don't want to use the other word. And they have an excuse to do that. Sarcasm is best in different... Dude, I do that all the time. I mean, when I'm taking swipes at the Fandom Menace. So yeah, don't follow me on Twitter if that annoys you, is what I'm saying. Sexy mirror people. It's true. It's true. The people are sexy. Still don't know about Picard being a Cylon, but maybe it'll turn out fine. I don't like them doing that either. I think they should have... they shouldn't have went that way. But that's just me. Linda Park. Who's Linda Park? I feel like I should probably know that. Oh, hell yeah. Yes. Um, Hoshi, yeah. You know what's funny? This dude, yeah, Sydney Fang. Dude, seriously, Hoshi? Oh my god, I didn't know the name of the actress of Hoshi. What the hell? My entire life is a scam. Like this dude on that, and not you, Sydney, but and I know you're giving me a hard time, but there's been this dude legitimately harassing me. He's been harassing me for a month, 2 months now. Longer than that, really. And he did a quote that I honestly just wasn't even, I don't take him seriously. I barely read what he does. I just have fun with it. And he's like, oh, you didn't know the quote. You're such a horrible person. There's 50 years worth of 50 years worth of information. I wouldn't expect anyone to know. Hoshi is Star Trek's Sakura. Sakura? Beats objectifying T'Pol. Who doesn't objectify T'Pol, though, to be fair? Nova, I don't know why Data was never backed up to the main computer, so he could be brought back as a hologram. Yeah, I think Data just wanted to die more than anything else. They could have done that if they wanted to, but I think he just wanted to die. Anyone think Disney will buy the rights to Star Trek and make a spin-off where Star Wars and Star Trek exist in the same universe? I would be completely okay with that if Disney bought Star Trek. CBS needs to let that IP go. They are the worst. They have no idea how they have no idea how fair use works. They're a horrible company. They're horrible when it comes to that. They don't want to help people out. They don't want to let people make a living off of legitimate legal respects. Oh my God. I would love for Star Trek to be bought by Disney and then they make princesses in Star Trek. I would be okay with that. There was a passing line about the coding of Data's positronic brain being incompatible. They transferred it in the other movie. That doesn't make any sense. I'd prefer a Star Trek Warhammer crossover. Then I suggest you to watch Discovery Season 3, because I think that's what they're doing. Sydney Fane says that's worth a few bucks. Thank you for helping the channel, good sir. Bird of Prey, Kurtzman announces Disco Cuties crossover. Dude, if ever there was. Oh, man. I'd believe it. It'd be the one thing on Fandom Menace channels I'd believe. I'd be like, yep, they nailed it, boys. They got it. Thanks for supporting the channel, by the way. It's the only way I can keep the lights on. If you guys haven't checked out Bird of Prey, you definitely should go to Bird of Prey 5. He says some interesting thoughts, and he does it from different points of view. Fun channel. He and I don't always agree. Rarely ever agree. On the cuties, we would agree, though. We don't want all IPs under one company. It goes down. They all go away. I'd be okay. I would take that risk if I don't have to deal with CBS Legal. Good old gamer. I'd take that risk. All day, every day. All day. Yep. All day. Yeah, Cuties is an interesting development. The Defenders of Cuties is interesting too. As Star Trek Discovery Season 3, we find out Lore is the God Emperor of Mankind. That'd be funny. What if Lore brought back all of the evil whatever aliens? How messed up would that be? All right, guys, I do think we're going to end it there. I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you for being a part of it. Honestly, this is really awesome. Got a new video coming out in a couple of hours. And got Ghostbusters coming out tomorrow at the latest. Talking about DMCA. I got a hit with a full-on DMCA by one of the companies that owned Ghostbusters. That was surprising. Should be out tomorrow. Because I don't think they're going to fight me on it. And then got an interesting video on Wednesday, and then we're ending First Contact on Friday. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded. you.